Overdrive this week, Shumi and Abhay experience the Harley-Davidson lifestyle. It's super fast Italian bulls at the Budh International Circuit. Auto selector with Bert and the latest from the motoring world.
Hello and welcome to Overdrive. I'm Shireen Bhan. Let's start the show with some good news and a little bit of self-promotion. Overdrive has won the News Television Award for the best auto show in English yet again. What makes this award even more special is that it's our third in the last 5 years. Well, we vow to keep the excitement running high, just as Shumi and Abhay did one Saturday morning when they decided to play Harley owners. They got their hands on the latest bikes to enter Harley's CKD portfolio in India, the Fat Boy and the Heritage Softail Classic. Here's their adventure.
So Abhi, what do you think the average Harley-Davidson owner does on the weekend?
I think most of them just wake up on Saturday morning, pick up the helmet, get on the bike and just hit the road.
Alright, and now that we've got two Harley-Davidsons with us this weekend, we've got the Heritage Softail and a very heavily modified Fat Boy. Shall we live the life of the Harley-Davidson owner, as it were, for one weekend?
Why not? I think that's also the best way for us to experience the bikes and see what the Harley-Davidson lifestyle is all about.
Well, actually, that's exactly what we did. We're actually at lunch. We're here about 150 kilometers from Bombay. We've ridden both the motorcycles up, and this is how it happened.
Harley-Davidson is the most serious of all motorcycle manufacturers that sell imported motorcycles in India in the large displacement motorcycle business. And there would be, it is their core business. The company recently added these two motorcycles to their Indian CKD lineup, which means 9 out of its 12 Indian models are assembled at their plant in Haryana now. In the case of the Fat Boy and the Heritage Softail, this means that in addition to the Sportster and Dyna lines, the Softail family is also now assembled in India, which is why we had one of each for testing. Except that while the Heritage Softail Classic was stock, the Fat Boy was anything but. But before we went into all the details, we let a few miles roll past under our wheels to get used to our steeds for the day.
Abhi, 70 kilometers done. How's the Softail doing? Thank you.
I think I'm quite impressed, Shumi. It just feels so plush, so comfortable, on the open highway. Just sitting there at 100 kilometers an hour in the 6th gear. It's just amazing.
That's the thing about Harley. See, this is not the easiest Harley-Davidson to ride in my experience. But get out on the highway and it has the same sensation as, when you're tired, you come home, you sit in your favorite chair, take something nice and cold to drink out of your fridge, sit down and you're home. The Harley-Davidson has that exact same reaction to finding an open, sort of continuous stretch. And this thing's absolutely wonderful at 80, 90, 100, 110. It's quiet, it's settled in. I don't think they have amazing ride quality, but what they lack in, let's say, wheel control, they make up for in sheer momentum. They just basically thwack the road completely out of the way. And I really like the fact that you can go over some really nasty looking things. Yeah. And if you have the confidence to keep the throttle open, it just goes right through, right?
Yeah, and I think once you get on the highway, unlike, in the city you feel the bike is heavy, handling it in traffic is a bit of an issue, but on the open highway, you're just going without thinking about anything, there's no issue.
Yeah, but can you keep up with me?
Oh no, I can't. You got a much faster bike this time.
This time it's not me, it's the motorcycle, is it?
Yes, it's the bike.
The Fat Boy is perhaps the one Harley-Davidson that needs absolutely no introduction. It looks distinctive, and after its starring role in Terminator 2, everyone knows it.
So when I heard that Harley-Davidson was putting the Fat Boy into CKD production, I was super happy. The price would fall 3-4 lakh rupees, but more importantly, I think the Fat Boy is the right Harley-Davidson as far as Indians are concerned. In our heads, it's the right size. And maybe it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, maybe it's just the size of the motorcycle. This is the right Harley-Davidson for us. A cheaper version of the Fat Boy? Awesome. Except that then I heard that Harley-Davidson was taking this particular Fat Boy and modifying it. What it's got is a stage 4 ECU, high performance coils, a Screaming Eagle exhaust, a Screaming Eagle filter, and then they stroked it, which means it has a longer stroke, the displacement is higher, high lift cams. This thing is making approximately twice as much power as a regular Fat Boy, says Harley-Davidson. Now I thought that was right up my alley because a fast Harley-Davidson is exactly what I would come to Harley for. Turns out it's not all good because on the highway this is an amazing motorcycle. In light traffic, roll on the gas, there's this silky wonderful smoothness to the power and a lot of power comes out. But two things. One, The smoothness is already available in most of the other Harley Davidsons, although the power is obviously less than this. But the flip side is that the clutch has become really hard, and yesterday I rode in Bombay's traffic and it really took the life out of this hand. Just working the clutch, shifting in and out of traffic was just so painful that it makes you wonder that maybe just a stock Fat Boy with a bunch of cosmetic bits would have actually been a better motorcycle. Very fast, but not the easiest motorcycle to ride.
The Heritage Softail Classic, on the other hand, is amazing in its own way. I first rode one ages ago and I have nothing but pleasant memories of it. Underneath the retro skin, the Heritage is the same family as the Fat Boy, which means the same 103 cubic inch, that's 1700cc approximately, V-twin. But with a lower seat, different handlebar and all, it feels dramatically different.
The Heritage Softail is one of those Harley Davidsons which have a typical retro feel to them, and I think that's what makes this bike really special. That's why you see the white sidewalls on the tires, all the steel riveting on the luggage, and the loads of chrome the motorcycle gets. But one thing that's missing on this bike right now is the giant windscreen in front. I've seen the Heritage Softail with that windscreen, and trust me, it looks good with that. As compared to Shumi's Fat Boy, this motorcycle is completely stock and it's really comfortable to ride. I've had fun on the highway, just put it in 6th gear, ride at 100 km an hour and you are comfortable.
The name Softail actually refers to the rear suspension on the bike. The hardtail used to be a Harley Davidson without rear suspension, and the Softail retains that look but hides the shock absorber for a clean look but a comfortable ride. On the road, both bikes feel similar, but the Fat Boy can be a little quicker around corners, not just because of the engine, but because it has a little more ground clearance than the Heritage. But the latter is the more comfortable of the two, more plush and more evocative. The brakes are pretty decent overall, though the Fat Boy with its updated 103 PS engine can sometimes feel like it could do with a little more brake force. Overall, these are marvelous open road machines that thoroughly enjoy the endless rhythm of long distances.
So Avi, the ride is done. All that's left is to ride all the way back home. Can we swap bikes now?
Of course, I think Shumi, I want to try the Fat Boy now. You know?
And I desperately want the Heritage Softail. I want a motorcycle that, look, it's hot, I'm tired. I just want a motorcycle that fades into the background and gives me a luxurious, pleasant experience. And I think the Fat Boy is a little bit too much work to do that in this form. In stock, yes. Modified like this, it's a little too hair trigger for me. Thank you.
I think I'm ready for it.
Living life Harley style. On that note, it's time for us to take a break. When we return, we answer your queries on Auto Selector and we wrap up all the news from the world of auto.